Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Benton with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I said, in every episode, we got a great one for you. Who do we have?
We have Jacob Buster with us today. He is an actor who currently stars in Showtime's new horror series, Let the Right One In, and he is best known to audiences as fan favorite Charlie Bowman in the Sci-Fi drama series Colony, and has appeared as young Mike Ross on Suits and had a guest role on the Thundermans.
And we're excited to talk to him about all that and
a
then
lot
some.
more.
So welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. It's good to be here.
It's our pleasure. We always like to start the show out kind of same way. I'll probably be dropping this part soon since we're
maybe next year.
It looks like we're getting out of it. I'll probably finish the year out saying this. But as you know, the last couple of years been rough for a lot of people through the pandemic and all that. How did it affect you? And what have you done to kind of maneuver through it?
Yeah, so I think originally with the pandemic, when it kind of hit, I wasn't doing much acting. I was still kind of finding myself at that point in time.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of just making new friends, trying to be close with my family. And once it kind of came out of the pandemic, I really got back into acting and found that this truly is what I wanted to do and kind of found myself through that in a way.
And, you know, it's probably worked into your favor a little bit because since the pandemic, a lot of auditions now don't happen in person.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be in LA for a lot of the roles.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've got a whole setup in my basement now in my mom's house. So we've got the whole camera, the lights, the blue screen in the back, and
awesome.
So this is green screen.
Yeah, we have one of those exactly.
Yeah, that's like for us. You know, we launched this show January of 2020, so a couple months before everything happened. And I remember our original plan was maybe 100 interviews the first year. Thought if we could do that, be a great foundation. And then everything gets shut down. I was telling Sandy, I was like, might be time for us to step it up because people who normally wouldn't come on a brand new show would probably be willing to, at least some of them. And it worked because we did over 300 interviews that first year and we're at 600 now.
Wow. That is awesome, you guys.
So it's been, so in a way for us personally, I mean, the pandemic with it slowing everything down actually helped speed us up.
Yeah, it's interesting how different everybody's world was affected by it.
It is. Mm-hmm.
And we all, one thing that helped us in our area was we live in Georgia. So we were the guinea pigs. We were the first state to reopen.
There you go.
Yeah.
we shut down for a good little while there, at least half a year.
Wow. Yes. Wow.
Because I think we were back in church by August 2020.
Yeah.
Wow. Dang, that's awesome. So
it all again, I don't want to see no deaths and all that, and a lot of deaths did happen.
Oh yes, we're sad to see that.
But at the same time, it's a pandemic. It happened. We couldn't change it. All we could do is ride with it and try to make it the best of it.
Yeah, just be as safe as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people would ask, when did you know you wanted to act? I like to go deeper than that. When did it click that this could be a career?
So I started acting when I was 7. My mom's a casting director. My dad had been acting for most of his life and is now a writer, director, producer. So I'd been introduced to the world at a pretty young age. And I worked here in Utah, did projects here and there. But as a kid, I didn't fully appreciate it as an art form. I kind of just looked at it as, hey, I get to get out of school and then with me and watch a movie and it's fun. But as I started to grow up, I started to realize these things that my dad would say to me when I would do auditions. He would always say, hey, let's play. Let's have fun. Let's create something.
Oh, wow.
I was always like, yeah, of course, it's work. It's not play. But then as I really started to look at it as play, that's when it started to click. And that's when I really was like, oh my gosh, this really like makes me happy. And when I do it, I get to find myself through creating another character. And that was just, I don't know, it's kind of undescribable.
So are there a lot of opportunities in Utah for you, or have you had to do travel for your opportunities?
So auditions, you can get auditions here. It's not too far out from Los Angeles, but they make a lot of Hallmark films here.
Oh, yeah.
They make a lot in the Christmas world and a lot in religion. So you can kind of find a bit of both of those. But if you want to go kind of sci-fi-ish, you kind of got to move out of the state or write a project.
Understand.
Definitely love that. Now, as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory in everything you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes to make it with any level of entertainment. And I always want to talk about that because I think it's sugar-coated a lot in the industry. You know, people think, oh, I've got the talent, I can make it. We both know that's not true. It takes so much more than just that. So take us a little bit about the sacrifices and struggles you've had to go through to even get to where you are today.
Yeah, well, first off, I'm very, very grateful for the family that I got because they gave me a huge step in the right direction where I wanted to go and where I want to be. And the next thing that I would say is I think the hardest thing about it for me was just the loneliness. Like I never kind of thought about that as a kid. I would be going to LA for 6 months and then Vancouver for 6 months. And then I'd come home and my best friend moved to New York before I got home.
Oh, wow.
I had to rely on my family a lot. And in a way that kind of brought me closer to them. And now my best friend is my brother. So we moved out together.
Oh, yeah.
Positives and negatives. It really depends on how you look at it.
And as a kid, you know, a lot of times kids in school, they don't understand your passion either. Well, I mean, shoot, adults don't understand the passion because I'm sure, because you know, I'm sure you've probably been told in your past when you're going to get a real job.
Yeah, many times, especially by teachers. But it's I don't know. I never would take that as like a jab or something. Something negative, because all that really means to me is that they care about where I end up and they care about me as a person and hoping that I live a good, prosperous life. And then also there's just the side of being happy with what you do. So if I can get to the point where I'm happy and successful, then it's what they would have wanted anyways.
And, you know, I think a lot of times, you know, parents, which of course you've got good ones, so this is different for you, and friends and teachers and guidance counselors and all that, they see the Brad Pitts of the world and know that there's limited spots for that level. A lot of times they don't realize there are thousands of spots below that a lot of actors you may never hear of, but that are making a living and they're happy.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be known by the entire world to be successful within yourself, you know, because success is it's really up to you as to what you consider success. You consider success the whole world knowing your name. You could consider success creating a story that you feel passionate about and you feel like adds something to the world. And that's one of the beautiful things about art in being human, is that there is no right or wrong way. You kind of get to fill in the blank.
Love that. Now let's flip the script and go the other way. What are a few wow moments that's happened where you're like, wow, that happened? I can't believe that happened.
So I would say a few of those is I did a pilot when I was maybe 13, 14, and I flew out to South Africa and I was filming out there for a month or so. And that was a really wonderful experience to go and see such a different part of the world from where I've been raised. So I loved that. And then also a huge wow moment for me was when Let the Right One In actually got brought to series. I was in Disneyland with a bunch of my friends in line for It's a Small World. And my mom called me and told me that it had been picked up. And I was like, what? This is crazy. So that moment, and then also moving out to New York alone to go film, that was a big step for me as well.
Now, how did you get the part on your current thing?
Yeah, so I got an audition just like any other. I went down into my dad's basement. We filmed it, sent it out. And about 3 days later, I had gotten a call back and they wanted me to go live onto a Zoom. And so I prepared the next scene, went on, did it. I was working with my brother at the time in a restaurant here in Utah called the Original Pancake House. I was hosting.
Okay.
And so I went into work, but I had the audition at 12. So I stepped back from that. I was like, hey, I got to go. Went back, super nervous, did it all. and it ended up going in my favor.
Now, how did the whole Hallmark movies happen for you?
So most of them have actually been that my mom is casting here, and they end up like a 17, 18-year-old boy. So they throw me in the mix, and yeah, I just slick my hair down to the side,
sure,
go in and give a read.
Awesome.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So what's your hometown? I mean, the people that's known you before all this, what do they think?
So originally there was a lot of people that were skeptical about it.
Yeah.
So I was raised in Utah, and it's not a small town, but it's kind of right in between being like a big city, Salt Lake, because it's kind of a hub a little bit.
Yeah.
Not quite small. It's kind of right in between. So a lot of people were worried that I would maybe, I don't know, kind of lose myself in it.
Okay.
And that was a big concern for me too, and it still is, which is why I'm so grateful for the actors I've been able to work alongside, and my family and my friends. They're really wonderful, and they help me a lot just to be me.
You know, the ironic part of that is when you're in that zone, you have to lose yourself.
Exactly.
So technically you could say, well, I did lose myself, but once it's over, I'm back.
Exactly. You can find yourself through another person, you know?
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that. That's great.
And that's so smart because, you know, so many actors we get on a show, you just never know their story and all of that. And that seems to be the common theme with the different actors we've had on the show is that's the part that they love, that they get to experience other people's lives without actually living it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really unlike anything else I've experienced. That's for sure.
Now, as you know, a lot of people see you, but they don't see the team around you. In our opinion, teams never get any love.
They don't.
On our show, they get a little love. So take a few moments and tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, first off, you got to mention the parents because they have always and will always be on my team. Same with my older brother and my younger sister. Then, I mean, just close connections and friends here in Utah. Like, I don't know. I've been starting to get into writing scripts here and there. So I've got a few friends that are kind of helping me keep on track with that. And then obviously talking about like Let the Right One In. There's phenomenal DPs, directors, showrunners. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There's no way that any show that I've ever been a part of could be what it is without them. Especially with the other actors that I've been able to work alongside, because on Let the Right One In, it's actually kind of crazy how real they feel. Yeah, whenever I'm doing a scene with them, every time it feels different. It feels like they're saying it to me, and I just look at them and I'm like, wow. I want to learn from them. I want to be able to like become the type of actor that they are. You know, it's kind of crazy.
Love that. Wow. You know, tell us a parent story, and you probably got 1,000 of them. I get that, but tell us kind of one that maybe stands out in your head where they went above and beyond for your career, and you're like, wow, they really get it. This is my passion and my calling.
Well, first off, I mean, my mom was a math teacher originally when we moved here to Utah, and once I started getting bigger roles and having to go out of state for a few months, she had to drop that and go with me. So that was a really
that's a big sacrifice.
It is.
Yeah, and I was very grateful that she was willing to do that for me. It's helped me tremendously. So that's a big story. But then also for my dad, I mean, just giving up his weekends with his friends and giving up all these things to sit down with me and watch a movie, or just sit down and critique this thing that happened here, or show me this scene that he loved, and really just help spark my passion, I guess.
I love that. Now, speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, our little 10-year-old that comes on and asks a couple questions.
Christopher.
So Sandy's going to go get him real quick.
Get him.
And while we're waiting on him, what's kind of next for you?
So obviously right now I'm working on the script, seeing where that can go. I was able to do a fun family film here in Utah. It's a little 80s. It's called Aliens Abducted My Parents, and now I feel kind of left out. So we'll see where that ends up going. But that was a really lovely experience. I got to meet some amazing people, and then from there, I guess fingers crossed for a season 2. Hoping that I can see where the story goes, because I think it really is a wonderful one on Let the Right One In.
Has it been a lot of fun?
Yeah. I think the show is. I mean, I'm very, very grateful that I get to be a part of it, because the talent there is insane to me.
Love that.
Hey, Jacob. So what's for your food?
Pizza's always a good one, but that's a bit of a simple answer. And especially when I went to New York, pizza there was absolutely amazing. I guess, I really like Pop-Tarts. Quick, easy, grab and go. Get out the door, do what you need to do. I would say that's my answer.
Because what's yours?
Mine is pizza.
Yeah. Okay. So we're similar on that.
Yes.
Yeah. He loved your first answer because that's his.
There you go.
What's for a TV show?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one.
And outside of any shows you've been in.
Yeah. I love Euphoria because I feel like it's so outside the box in how they were able to film it. And I think the actors on that show are just wonderful. And then I'm starting to watch Dexter because I've seen a lot of comparisons between the way Dexter was written and the way Let the Right One In was written. So I've been able to start watching that, and I'm loving that.
Now, do you do that a lot where you'll compare and you'll be like, oh, I can see the similarities there?
Oh, 100%. Because I think art is typically inspired by other art most of the time. And I'm sure there's some that isn't, but when it is inspired, you get to watch that other thing. And if it's inspired by that, you get to see the layers of that show and then the layers of the other on top of it. And you kind of get to watch it grow.
Love that. What's yours?
Mine is SpongeBob.
Okay. I need to start watching SpongeBob again. I watched that a while ago. But it's a good one.
What's your favorite movie?
I would say one of my favorite movies is Beautiful Boy. I think Timothée Chalamet is such a phenomenal actor. And along with Steve Carell, combining those two is just absolutely amazing. What would you say is yours?
Mine is Minions.
Minions? Which one? The regular one or the Rise of Gru?
Probably Rise of Gru.
Rise of Gru? That was a funny one. I liked watching that one.
Yeah, we actually saw it in Nashville.
Really? Yeah, I went and did the whole suit dress up thing that everybody was
wow.
on the internet. That was fun.
Yeah, it was, we've always liked Despicable Me too, but I think the Rise of Gru, I think, is the best one because you get to see and that was smart of them to build the brand and then go back.
100%.
Because if they'd have started with the Rise of Gru, it wouldn't have, I don't think, done what it did. So they were able to blossom the brand and then now take people back. Okay, let's see how it started.
Exactly. Once they had a fan base, then they could really tell the tail end of the story that they wanted to.
And you got to see little points in it to where, that's why he acts the way he does, because you see this happen and this happen, and everybody always underestimated him. So even as an adult, again, you're underestimated as a child, then you feel intimidated as an adult, and
100%.
People don't get that. So it was a really, really good put together movie.
I would agree.
Bye, thanks.
All right, it was good meeting you.
Yeah, he loves to be on. He's been on almost every episode.
Oh, that's awesome. Since you guys started?
Yep. And that's been 600 episodes. Out of 600, he's probably been on 580. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
There's been a few where maybe because it's usually in the middle to the end, somewhere in there where we bring them in. And every now and then you'll get a guest that, I guess they didn't realize we normally go 30, 40 minutes. And they're like 20 minutes in. Oh, I got to go. So so those few times.
Yeah, those few circumstances.
Yeah.
The few times he hasn't been here, we've been with a friend or whatever.
So what's been your hardest role to play?
Ooh.
And why?
I think there's been differences on different projects. Let the Right One In was definitely a challenge for a little bit. It was my first time ever having prosthetics.
Oh, wow.
And so it was like full body, and it was a lot. 3 hours on, like hour and a half
Yeah.
off. And as time moved forward, I mean, also the two girls that were able to do my special effects, I mean, they were wonderful. Crystal and Mel, they were awesome. So they really helped me through that a lot. But yeah, that was really physically a challenge for me for a little while. It felt hard to kind of stay within myself and in my emotions because everything around me felt so kind of strained in a way. I would say let the right one in, which I also think is really wonderful, because to be able to challenge yourself is to be able to grow.
Now, what's been your most fun role?
I would also say let the right one in. I really think that this show is, I'm so grateful to be a part of it. I think it's a league above what I've been able to do so far. And so I hope I can stay in that direction.
So what's a show or movie that you wish you had a role in?
I think a show like, again, going back to Euphoria, would be so fun, because part of why I love that show so much is because in most shows, like let's say this is the camera.
Yeah.
You stay so still and you stay on your mark, and it's just here close up. But sometimes what people don't really pick up on in Euphoria is that they have a mark, obviously, and they have the camera up close, but they're still free to move and they get to do whatever. And sometimes when they're saying their lines, they're looking like this and you can't quite see their face, but you can still feel the emotion through the way that they're moving and all these things. And I want to try that. You know, I want to be able to try and dive so far into a character that they yell cut and I go, oh, okay, let's go back. And I kind of get to snap back into it in a sense.
I love that. Now, are there any times where, whether it's a show or a movie that you've been in, where they kind of have you go freestyle a little bit and just see where it goes?
Yeah, I mean that totally happened with the aliens abducted my parents, and now I feel
Oh wow.
I got to do some fun stuff there where they brought up some little line ideas. I got to throw in some at the end, some little jokes here or there. So that was a really fun one to do.
So improvising is fun for you.
Oh, 100%. It can be stressful to look at it from a top-down perspective, but if you really just talk to your directors and your writers and they're like totally comfortable with you just like doing whatever, it's kind of fun to not have those constraints put around it.
Because our show is kind of improv, because although I have a few basic questions, I let it go where it needs to go. Yeah. And I never know where it's going to go.
And that makes it fun.
That's awesome.
So one of our buddies asked, what did you do for high school prom?
So I wasn't able to go to prom. I graduated early, but I was able to go to homecoming.
Oh,
so awesome. I went to homecoming with my girlfriend at the time, and we got all fun and dressed up. We went out and we had dinner, had some steak, and went and danced with some friends. It was a really good night. And then we came home and watched some films as an actor does.
Yes.
Love that. So where do you want to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I would love to be able to start my own production company and be able to start writing, directing, even though I believe acting is my main motive and my main purpose. Mm-hmm. I just think art in general is so wonderful. And my older brother is a musician. So in our place that we have a little studio. And I would love to be able to also learn how to make music with him. Maybe start making music on the side, writing some scripts, working as an actor here, there, directing. Mm-hmm. I just kind of want to be artistic, I guess.
Definitely love that. So let's look even further down the road, and let's say 15, 20 years down the road. You are a success on a grand scale, whatever that looks like for you. You're there. What do you hope you never forget along that journey?
I hope that I never forget about the early stages, because I feel like if you forget about where you've come from and who's helped you get there, and I mean, to become a success is so much more than just within yourself. I mean, there's a lot of people around you that have to believe in you and give you a platform, and all these things that have to align. And I hope that I don't forget that I would be where I am because other people were kind and gracious enough to give me an opportunity.
Yes, love that. And what are some things that inspire you?
Ooh, I think my mom and my dad inspire me a lot. Definitely, just because the type of people that they are in the world, really, I just think they're wonderful. They're so accepting, forgiving, loving, just really wonderful people. And then artistically, I think people that I really look up to Zendaya. I think she has such a wide range, and I think she's such a wonderful actress. I love what she's able to do, and also Timothée Chalamet. So that's part of the reason why I'm excited to see Dune kind of move in a different direction, because I would love to be able to see them work together. And then musically, I think somebody that I look up to is an artist named John Bellion. He is so talented. The way that he is able to create his music, he has this way that he flows through everything, and none of his songs sound the same. But as soon as it comes on, you can immediately tell it's him. He just has his own style and his unique thing. I don't know. I love it.
And what would you like your legacy to be in acting? What would you like to be most known and remembered for?
That's an interesting question. I haven't thought about that. I feel like I'd like to be known. I don't know. I think I less want to be known for my acting and more for what I could do to contribute to the world and like make it. And I feel like through acting, it gives you a really big platform.
It does.
Promote things that feel good to me.
Yes. And if you could say anything to your followers, what would you want to tell them?
I feel like what I would say is find greatness within yourself, because I feel like everybody is so different and unique and wonderful in their own way. And I would hope that if they enjoy my films or if they enjoy the things that I do, that I could maybe help inspire and help create other people that are also doing amazing, wonderful things in the world alongside these other actors I get to work with. So I don't know. I just hope that if I'm able to continue moving in this direction, that I could also help other people move in a direction that they want to as well.
Oh, love that. If you could pick any actor or actress to be a mentor to you, who would you pick?
Timothée Chalamet, 100%. Because, like, I mean, obviously, a very, very, very close second is Zendaya. But the reason I'd say Timothy is because he's got such an interesting energy to him. Like he can really feel such a masculine energy, and he can feel such a feminine energy. And I love that. I love how he's able to flow just kind of as a human and as an artist, and all these roles that he's able to take on are, I don't know, I would say goals of mine for sure.
Love that.
Awesome.
Now, as we end here, I got a two-part question.
Okay.
The first part is, what advice would you give someone who wants to do what you do?
I would say some of the advice that I would give is 95% of the work of being an actor, if not more, is auditioning, 100%. And everybody says this, it can feel a little cheesy from time to time, but if you enjoy your work, then it's never work. But like, you really need to take it, not like flowing at all, like genuinely 100%. You need to view an audition as playing and creating a character, because that comes through. If you view it as work, then work has these parameters, these certain things that need to happen. And if they don't happen, then, oh no, this could go wrong or this could go wrong. But if it's play, then if something happens and you didn't like it, oh well, rewrite the story, do something new, have fun, change it. And then you can really feel that in the audition. You can feel that it gets to flow and it gets to be its own thing compared to what anybody else is doing.
Love that. Now, the second part is, since you kind of grew up in the industry since 7, you said, what advice would you give that parent that has a child that wants to do what you do?
I think some advice that I would give is, if it's really meant for them, they'll find their way. And that's not to say like don't help them at all.
Yeah.
That's just to say that like when I was 7, there were definitely times when an audition came along and I wanted to play with my friends. And if my parents were like, no, you have to do this, you have to do this, the audition's not going to feel like play. It's going to feel like work. And so if there's a way to find the joy with them in creating a character and still letting them be a kid, but kind of taking on their creative side of their brain, that would be what I'd say. It's a very tight balance, but yeah.
I love that answer. So tell everybody how they can find you.
So I am on Instagram, just Jacob_Buster. That's my Instagram. That's pretty much the main social media I post on. I should probably get on Twitter or Facebook or some things like that, but
or TikTok. Seems like that's the big thing right now.
Yeah. I got into that during COVID, so that was a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly Instagram, and then I guess through there I'll be posting about any projects I have coming up, whether my script is coming along well, and just kind of all those little updates.
Awesome.
I love that. We really enjoyed having you on today, and we look forward to having you back down the road.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to come back.
Great. We look forward to it. Thanks for your time today.
You guys for having me.